Hey, good evening, everybody. Trust we had a great day. So I'm handing over right now to Malik to start today's class. So have a wonderful class and bye for now. So Malik, over to you.
Good evening, everybody. If you can hear me, just kindly drop in the chat box that you can hear me. Hello, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Trust our day was good. Okay. I can see we're only 12 on the call right now. So I would say we should give about 10 minutes for others to join. Just 10 minutes. But let's give them till 7:10. We'll start by 7:10 on dot. Thank you very much. I'm trying to get first name, okay, from this email ID. And it says, oh, okay, I think this is what you're trying to do. And it fits the process for the remaining data. And okay, and I want to draw out Excel is let me use your smart. Okay. You can give Excel an example and tell Excel to play faster. Okay. You can give an example, you can give Excel an example.
Start it.
I trust okay. Most of what we're doing in this one is techniques All right, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, so it's 7:10 right now, and we'll be starting. Okay, so quickly, I would like us to first look at the assignment that I gave for class. I noticed that just a handful of us submitted, okay? And we'll be looking at the solution to the assignment first. And then I also noticed that some people were sending to my WhatsApp DM, okay? I posted a link on the group chat for you to submit to, but I noticed that some are still sending to my WhatsApp DM, so we would resolve the issue of that, okay? Would show how to send to the Google Drive link, okay? All right, so first, the assignment solution. Okay, so if you can see my screen, just let me know that yes, you can see my screen, okay? Kindly comment if you can see my screen. You can unmute yourself quickly and just.
I can see it, sir.
All right, thank you very much.
I can see your screen.
Okay, so thank you very much. So now, this was the assignment I gave, and luckily for us, I also gave steps to follow, okay? So we've been given steps, all we had to do is just follow what was given. All right, and now, the first one says delete blank rows, which we already treated. The second said remove excess spaces. And I know we haven't looked at that, but on the during the onboarding class, okay, I introduced us to the concept of making sure we make use of Google at any point in time where we do not know something, okay, we can make use of Google. So this is just to encourage us to do some certain research on our own, okay? And the third step says we should replace value, all right? So when I say replace value, when did you look at replacing value? Okay, we said probably we have incorrect data, we have wrong spellings, and we want to replace, okay? So standardize text, standardize date, and remove duplicates, okay? So I also noticed someone had issues with the date, okay, which we'll be looking at. All right. So the first one says delete blank rows. Delete blank rows. All right. So delete blank rows. What did I say we will do? I said we'll highlight the entire data. Okay, so I'm going to highlight my entire data now. Okay, I've highlighted the entire data. And what will I do now? I'm going to come up to where I have find and replace. Okay, find and select, then I'll go to replace. Sorry, I'll go to special. Okay, go to special, and then I'll click on blanks. Okay, once I click on blanks and I click OK, you can see only the blanks have been selected. Only the blank rows have been selected. Okay, so now I will just come up here back and I'll click on delete, and I'll click on delete sheet rows. Okay, so you will notice that those rows that were blank initially are now gone. All right, did you notice that? The rows that were blank initially are now gone. So we are done with the first step. What's the second one? It says we should remove excess spaces. Good. Now, if you look at your data, where does it look like you're having excess spaces? Now, what are excess spaces? These are white spaces, okay? Either before or after a particular value, okay? Excess white spaces, that's your space, okay? Now, if you look at this name column, you'll notice that some values there are having excess spaces, okay? And to remove this excess space, you have to make use of the function trim. So for those of you that actually did your research, okay, you would have come across the function trim. Okay, we make use of trim to remove excess spaces. Okay, so you make use of trim to remove excess space from this column. But to do that, you have to first create a new column. So I would right click on this column, column D. I would right click on it, and then I'll click on insert. Okay, so now in this new column, I'm going to call this also name. Okay, now I'm going to type in my formula equal to, remember I told the formula function in Excel always starts with equal to sign. So I'll say equal to trim. Okay, I'll open my brackets. So it's asking me, where is the text I want to trim? Or where's the text I want to remove the excess spaces from? So I'll click on this cell and then I'll close my brackets. Okay, I'll press enter. So I can type trim for every cell after this, okay? Or I can easily drag what I have here, okay? If I bring my cursor to this small green box over here, okay? You can see how my cursor turns to a black arrow, a black and cross sign, okay? So I can just double click on it, or I would click and drag down. If I double click on it, it will replicate the formula I have in that cell. It will replicate it all the way down, okay? So I'll just double click on it, and you'll notice that now I have all the excess spaces removed. Okay, I have all the excess spaces removed. So for Facebook here, where I had a bit of white space before the Facebook, okay, you can see now the excess space has been removed. All right, so it formats it to look like a proper word or a proper sentence without excess space. So now you would notice that if I click on this cell, in my formula bar, I'm still having formula, okay, but I need only values. So I'm just going to copy and paste the values, okay, copy and paste. So I would highlight all this down, okay, and I'll right click, and then I'll click on copy, okay. Once I click on copy, I'll right click over here again, and then I'll click on this paste, okay. I can come to paste values. I can just click on this paste with numbers here, okay. So once I click on it, now you would notice that anywhere I click on, I'm having the both the value in the cell and in the formula bar. Okay, you can see that I have both the value in the cell and in the formula bar. So the formula has been taken away, only the values are left. All right. So now I can easily delete this column. Delete it again. I'll delete it. And you can see that I'm done with that. So I've removed excess spaces. Okay. So once again, I said the formula is trim. equal to trim. Okay, open your brackets and then you reference the text that you want to trim and close your brackets. Okay, I'm going to delete this and we'll continue. So I said replace value. Okay, so now most of you would have wondered, okay, what value are we replacing? What exactly are we doing? Okay, quite easily, I hoped that someone would actually notice, okay, that where we have the name of the companies here, we have Facebook, we have Amazon, and over here, we're having a wrong spelling of Tesla, okay? It's spelled as Telsa instead of Tesla, okay? So what we are meant to actually replace is Telsa. So I'm meant to replace it with Tesla, all right? So what I will do now is I will highlight this column again. I would come to where I have find and select, and I'll click on replace. So what are we looking for? We're looking for every occurrence of Telsa, okay? We want to replace it with Tesla, all right? So we're replacing it with Tesla, and then I'll click on replace all. Okay, I don't know why it's taking time to load. All right, so it says all done. We made 10 replacements. Okay, then I'll say, okay, so I'm done with that. So if I go back down there, you'd see that it's Tesla now and not Telsa. Okay, so we're done with that. Another way to easily see what is in each column, okay, is to make use of the filter option. I taught you the filter option in our second class, okay? I can quite easily just press Ctrl Shift and L, okay? I can press Ctrl Shift and L and you'll see some small boxes now included in each cell, okay? Ctrl Shift and L for filter, all right? Or I can just come up to where I have sort and filter and I'll click on the filter icon here, okay? So if I click on this place, you would see the values, each distinct value that is having in that particular column. So you can make, you can do whatever you want to do with this information. You can easily see, okay, if I have a wrong spelling or if I have duplicates, okay, probably one is spelled right and one is spelled wrong. Okay, I can easily see it from here and then I will know what to correct. All right, so we'll continue. Now, I said we should standardize text, okay? So what text are we standardizing? What text are we standardizing? So I'll say we're standardizing the ticker column, okay? You can see that some are in small letters, some are in capital letters, okay? Some are mixed. All right, so what do I want to do in this case? All I'm going to do is once again, create a new column over here. I'll insert. Okay, I will call this ticker. And then let's make use of upper. Okay, let's capitalize everything since it's like an abbreviation. Okay, so I'm going to say equal to upper. I'll open my brackets, okay, and then I'll reference this cell and I'll close my brackets. Okay, so you should be following as fast as possible right now. Your formula, you reference the cell and you're good to go. Then I'll press enter. Okay, so the same thing I did for the name column, I'll double click over here and then it replicates across, right? So you can see. Now, I would come back up here. I would highlight everything all the way down. All I did was press Ctrl Shift and down. Okay, so it will highlight to the last data on your data set. So I'm going to right click, copy, and then I'll right click again and paste values only. Okay, so I'm good to go. We will now see that in each cell, I'm having values both in the cell and in the formula bar. Okay, so now I can delete this column. So I've deleted the column now. So what's going to happen? The next thing says we should standardize dates. Okay, so if we go to our dates column, we'll notice that we're having both dates and numbers. Okay, both dates and numbers. What are we going to do? I'm going to click on my column here. Okay, there will be a video. Okay, the recorded version will be made available. But once I'm done with this correction, wherever you are lost at, just let me know. And if I can recap, I will.
Okay.
Is that fine?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay. So, all right, click this column. Okay, and then I want to format as date. So what I'll come here is you can see that the format up here, the format here is saying general, and it's meant to be in date format. Okay, so I would click here and I'll change it to, let's make use of short date. Okay, short date. So I'll click on short date. So now you can see I have dates. Okay, so they are all dates now. Okay, someone raised hands. All right, so Mr. Edward Bad, I can see your hands raised.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I want to refer to the previous column which you just finished on.
Okay. Your network is very bad, sir. I can't hear you. If you can kindly type a question in the chat box. I can barely hear you, sir. Kindly type your question in the chat box. All right, so we'll continue. So
to select anyone.
All right, Mr. Edward Badi. Mr. Edward Badi.
Oh, okay.
You should type your question in the chat box, please. I can barely hear you. Okay.
Okay, I'll do that. Okay, I'll put it on chat box. Okay.
All right, Anthony Mbaku. Yes, your hands were raised.
Yeah, sorry. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah, I'm trying to read the issue I have is with the date that was just concluded. Observing the date, I observed that the date on cell A8 is in another. It's like the day of the month is before. Is after the month. The day is after the month. A8.
Cell A8.
Yes.
The day is after the month.
The month. It doesn't follow the sequence. Theirs is 21st and all that too. So that's what I just wanted to point out. I don't know if that's going to be addressed subsequently.
All right. Thank you for that observation. So, this was the question that someone asked during the last class. I don't know who exactly the person is. Okay, but someone actually asked this question during the last class. Okay, so I said for us to
I did. I asked that question last week.
Okay. And if you remember, there was a way I said we can treat such issues. Am I right?
Yes. You said yes. I can custom.
Okay. So all you do now, okay, we've already changed the format to dates. Okay, and we can see that there are disparities among the dates. Okay. So I'll make use of text to column now. Okay. First, I'm going to create a new or rather, I don't need to create a new column. All I'm going to do is I will highlight my date column. Okay. Now come up where I have data. Now come to text to columns. Okay. So under text to column, under text to columns, I'll click on delimited. Okay, I can leave it like that. I'll click on next. Okay, I'm dealing with dates. I'm not trying to separate them. Okay, so I'll just click on next. So over here is where I'm going to set my column data format. I'll click on date. Okay, and then the data format, I want month, day here. Okay, and I'll click on finish. Okay, so there are still disparities there. Give me a minute. Okay. All right, so if you followed along, you'd notice what I did. If you didn't, okay, I'm going to undo my steps now, and I'll take them from the beginning again. Is that fine?
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Take it again.
Okay. Okay, so I'll take it again now. I will undo my steps. Okay, so initially my date was formatted in this format, okay? Now I'll come to my data tab and I'll click on text to columns, okay? So I'm just working with date. I'm not trying to separate the date, okay? If I want to separate the date, I can do that here also, but I'm not trying to separate the date. I just want to change the format, okay? Changing the format from the normal format pane, you notice that there are still disparities in that column, okay? I'm going to press next, I'll press next, okay? So the date format, I'll click on column data format, I'll click on date, and I'll change the date format to day, month, year, okay? Because that's the date format that is there. So it's date, month, year. So once Excel reads it that, okay, yes, date, month, year, that is correct, then it will not change it to my system format, which is month, day, year. Is that fine? Once Excel reads with this format, that it is day, month, year that is here, okay, and it works, it corresponds, okay, day, month, year. It is when Excel reads the first one, month, and it does not correspond, it won't read it as a date, okay? But once it corresponds, day, month, year, then Excel will say that, okay, now this is a date column. Now it will now format it in the format of my system. Okay, I can now change the format back using the format the formatting option that is on my home tab. All right, so after this, I'll just click on finish. And if you notice in my date column now, you'll see how the data will change. Okay, so the month has been brought to the front while the date is now in the middle. So I'll come back to my home tab and I'll click on general where I have general here, and I'll click on short dates. Okay, so you'll see now that my date is formatted correctly. So there are no disparities there. So I guess we are good to go on that. All right, so the question someone asked. Okay, so someone said, in order to delete excess spaces, can we also use find space and replace with nothing? You can use find space and replace with nothing, okay? But the problem is, do you know, the problem is if you have a sentence in that cell, okay, where you actually need a single space to separate your each word, okay, Excel would also find that space and replace it with nothing, meaning all your words will not be together, okay? But Stream will remove the excess spaces. It will just remain one space in between each word, okay? So it's not advisable, and I will not advise you to make use of find space. All right, so hello, sir, I want to clarify something on the ticker column. Must we choose upper or can one choose proper? Yes, you can choose proper. Okay, the only reason why I chose upper was because we're dealing with an abbreviation. Okay, National Agency for Food and Drug Administration Control, the full name. If I'm going to abbreviate it, okay, I won't write NAFDAC in small letter. Am I right? Okay. Or National Drug Enforcement Agency, I won't write NDLA in small letters. Okay. I would most likely want to write it in capital letters. So just the abbreviation, that's the reason why I'm making use of upper. All right. So so I guess you are fine on that question, sir. Mr. Edward Buddy. Yes, you're fine on that question. All right, so do we have to always follow the default steps you presented to us? Okay, beautiful question. A very beautiful thing about data analysis is that there's no one particular route to the destination, okay? Every road that you take, every correct road that you take, okay, will get you to where you are going to. So far you know where you are going to. You don't always have to follow the default steps. Okay.
Mr. Malik, there's a question up there that you missed out. What if the blank space is not a row, but a cell? How do we treat that?
Okay, I'll come back to that now. All right, so I was answering a question. Okay, so you don't always have to follow the default steps or given to you, but there are some instances where you have to follow the steps accordingly. You would not want to remove duplicates at the beginning of your data cleaning. Removing duplicates should come at the very end when you know that yes, you are fully done. Okay. When you know that yes, you are fully done with all the cleaning you need to do. So removing duplicates would be the last thing. All right. So there are some instances where you want to follow a particular step. Okay. So I guess that question has been answered. All right. So when removing blank spaces, if the blank space is one cell and not a row, will it not affect the data cleaning? Okay, good. Hello, sir. I want to clarify something on the ticker column. No. Okay, so what if the blank space is not a row but a cell? If we delete it, won't it affect the data? Okay, good. So if you have just a single blank cell, okay, if you delete it, yes, it would affect the data. Okay, but if you want to treat blank cells, okay, there's another method. All right, so making use of filter, you can know if you have blank cells in your column, okay? And if you have blank cells, it's not every time that you'd want to remove it. What do I mean by that now? All right, so let's say I'm working with this data, okay, and I have this cell to be blank. I have this cell to be blank. I have, okay, so I just have these two cells to be blank, okay, open and low. Yeah, both blank, all right? So in this instance now, if I'm going to be analyzing this data and I need to make use of open and low, this record is practically useless to me. Okay, so I can delete this, fine. All right, but in my documentation, I would have to document it that, okay, I deleted a particular record due to so case. All right, so there are some instances where you want to delete a record that has a blank cell, okay, but not every time. Say for instance now, if let me just undo that, okay, let's say it's just the ticker that is blank, okay, you won't necessarily have to delete this entire row, okay. So I guess we're good to go on that.
Hello, Mr. Malik. Hello, Mr. Malik. Hello, Mr. Malik. How about like in the first instance where you deleted those two this is, how about if you put 0, 0, 0? Is it okay? As in,
Come
if you make,
again, I don't get you, sir.
I mean, the first instance you gave, where you deleted those 2 figures. How about if you make those 2 cells, you put 0, 0?
All right, good question. Okay, so now if I give you a data for let's say you're working with a banking industry data, okay, and you're looking at how much they closed with each day. Okay, so you have the date and how much they closed with each day. That's just all, the date and how much they closed with each day. Okay, so let's say this is the closing balance for each of these days. Okay, there's nothing to calculate the closing balance. You just have the date and you have the closing balance. So if you have a particular date with blank cell, are you telling me I'll fill in 0 and tell them that they closed with 0 as a closing balance? Okay, so you can't be too sure. And you wouldn't want to be giving inaccurate results. So that's the reason why I said it's best you delete that record and you let them know in your documentation, okay, that a record, so and so record was deleted due to so and so reasons. Okay. And better still, if you can work with the data engineer in charge of that company, okay, and find out why that data is missing, all right, and you can discover, oh, this is the data that is meant to be fine. But if you cannot, then it's best you delete that record so that you won't be giving inaccurate results in your analysis. Okay, is that fine, sir?
Yes, sir, it's okay now. Thank you very much.
All right. So, Martin, Mr. Martin.
Yes, I just wanted to add to your answer to that question that you are very right, because that we are supposed to extract it, delete it, and keep it somewhere and report it as invalid data. You cannot manufacture any number. You can't put the record, don't know what it is all about. It's just like in election. There are votes they say invalid vote because those people didn't vote correctly, either they didn't thumbprint somewhere or so and so on. So those ones are identified as invalid votes. So when you have data like this, it's referred to as what invalid data. You don't put anything by yourself. You extract it separate or delete it and put it somewhere and report it as invalid data.
All right, thank you very much, sir. So I guess we're clear on that. Okay, one more hand. Mr. Anthony. Mr. Anthony.
Sorry, I'm supposed to lower my hand. Sorry.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Alex, hands are raised.
Okay, I just want to find out if they remove duplicate on the data ribbon tab is an alternative to doing this.
Alternative to doing what, sir?
To removing duplicates of data. You know, you showed us 2 instances, one from the home page where you go to the conditional formatting, and another from the data where you go to the duplicates, remove duplicate.
Oh, okay, I understand what you're saying. Okay, so the first one I showed, okay, that has to do with conditional formatting. Okay, I only made use of that to show how to check if you have duplicates in the data. So I can just make use of conditional formatting to check if you have duplicates in my data, but it's not very efficient in the sense that it won't cross-check the records for each other. Okay, it only checks through the columns. Okay, so it's not checking by record, it's checking by columns, each columns. Okay, so if you have duplicates in that column, you color each and every one of them. So it's not very efficient. You don't make use of that to remove duplicates. If you want to remove duplicates, then you make use of that on the data tab. So once you go to the data tab, you remove duplicates.
All right. Okay. Understood.
All right. So I guess that answers all the question. Good. So we can proceed. Now, what's left? Remove duplicates. Okay, so we've not removed duplicates. So all I'm going to do now is I would highlight my entire data. Okay, Control A to highlight, and then I'll come to where I have data. Okay, and then where I have remove duplicates. Okay, remove duplicates rows from a sheet. So I'll remove duplicate rows. Okay, so my data has headers. Yes, it's checked. That's the reason why Excel has removed this from the first row. Okay, you see that it's now highlighted from the second row. So I'm going to check across all the columns and I'll say, okay. So 2 duplicate values found and removed, 30 unique values remain. Okay, so yours might say 3 duplicate values found, all right? Remember, I changed this value to 0, okay? There's no ticker here, all right? So now, what do I want to do? Let's see if we can format this the more. Okay, we've done every step that was given to us. Okay, so we can format this the more. We notice that what we have here are monetary values. Okay, so we can change this format to an accounting format. Okay, I'll just click on this $sign over here. All right, and you see that, okay, I have this now, fine. The volume, I'll change it to number format. Okay, I can include a comma to separate thousands, okay, and millions. I can increase, reduce the decimal places, all right? After that, what again can I do? You know, just to format your data to make it look much more better, okay? Along the line, we still look at how to convert your data to a proper table in Excel, okay? How to convert your data to a proper table, okay? So you'd come to insert and then you see where you have table, but we're not going to be doing that yet. So manually, I would highlight the first row, okay? I can make it bold. I'll make it bigger, okay? What again can I do? I can highlight the cell, okay? Let's make it of just a light one. Notice that everything I'm doing stretches all the way down, okay? That's because I highlighted everything all the way down. So I can undo that, okay? And then I'll just fill. Okay, so it stops all the way here, good. So now I would highlight my entire data again, Control A, and now let's make it look like a table, okay, without inserting tables. So I'll give it all borders, okay, and then let's say tick outside borders, all right. So tick outside borders, so you can see now that the data set looks much more appeasing, better to look at. All right, so that's all for the assignments. Okay, so we'll move into this class. We'll move into today's class, okay?
Sorry, Mr. Malik.
Yes,
Hello,
sir.
Mr. Malik. Sorry, sir.
I'm with you, sir.
You said you show us how to send our assignment to the Google Drive. I really have issue with that myself.
Okay, so how to send your assignment to the Google Drive? All right, no problem about that. I'll show us that in minutes. All right, so once I send you okay, so I send you a link, okay? Now, so you can see that I have just about 19 submissions, okay, out of about 40 or 50 something students in the class. All right, so how to submit? Once you click on the link and you open the link on your browser, all right, this is how it opens for everyone. Am I right? This is how it opens for everyone. Please just respond.
True. I also have issue with that. True.
Yes,
That's right.
yes,
Yeah,
it opens like
right.
that.
Yes. You can even see my own locked with the padlock or something, but I don't know why it's like that.
All right, so this is how it opens for everyone. Now, if I want to make a submission, once I'm done with my assignments, okay, all I'm going to do is this. I've saved my assignments. I'm done with it. I've saved it. This is the file, data analytics. Okay, I'm going to click and drag. Okay, you can see all I did was click on it and then drag. I'm dragging with my mouse, and I will drag it. I will bring it down to where I have my browser. Okay, you see that it opens my browser, and then I'll just come here. Okay, you can see what it's telling me. It's telling me drop files to upload them to this folder. Okay, and then I'll just remove my hand and it will upload as simple as possible. So you can see you are not doing much of any work. Okay, all you have to do is click, drag to your browser and drop it here. Okay, once it has uploaded, it says upload complete. Okay, and if I scroll all the way down, you'll see my new data added. Let me see, data analytics, you can see it here. Okay, so I guess that was easy to, so I don't think we'll be having any issue with that again. Am I right?
Yes,
Yeah,
sorry.
you're right.
That's
Sorry,
to
this
say
is Donald.
we must be on the internet. We open that link,
Yes. Have to be on the internet.
that drive.
Hello,
Have to be
Mr.
on the
Malik.
We
internet.
drag our work and not dump it there.
Confusing.
Yes, correct.
Hello, Mr. Malik.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Mr. Malik.
I can hear you. You can go ahead, sir.
Hello.
Hello,
All right, so
Mr.
I
Malik.
guess it's yeah, with you, sir.
Yeah, you drag the file, and already this was open when you drag the file, you know, to this. So just drag the file and just put up on this interface. So was that
Yes.
was that just all okay?
That's just all.
Okay, that means the
That's
site
just
should
all.
Hello, Mr.
yeah,
Malik.
yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Loud and clear.
Okay, this is Donald. I can see on my file nothing seems to be showing there. I don't know why that is.
Okay, so did you submit the right file? Let's open it.
Yes,
Let's
of
just
course
take a
I
look at
did.
it. All right, so it's pretty much okay.
I'm not seeing anything. Oh, okay.
All right, okay, so we can proceed with today's class. All right, so where did we stop in our last class? So from the beginning, we've looked at deleting blanks, fill a range, flash fill, find and replace, formatting, sort and filter, changing cases, joining text, text to column, removing duplicates. Okay, so that's where we stopped. All right, so if you have any issue, okay, even after watching the videos, can you just signify where you have issues on, and let me just treat them before we move on.
I have issues, so I still
All right,
have
so
issues with that.
We'll take them one after the other. Okay, you can go ahead, sir.
I still have issues with that SS space, they call it. Remove SS space and there's still have
Okay,
issues with that.
removing excess spaces.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I'll quickly answer that question now, and then we'll move on to the next one. Okay, so now let's say in this column, okay, I want to type something. Let's say my name is Malik. Okay, and in this cell I type in my name is Malik. Okay, so you can clearly see the difference. Okay, Now, this is formatted properly. Just a single space between each word, okay? A single space separating each word from each other. All right, but if you notice here, you're having excess spaces, okay? So you want to change this cell and make it look like this one, okay? Now, if you have a large data set where you have excess spaces in some cells, okay, you cannot begin to manually type and change by yourself, okay? Manually type, manually delete the spaces. So you can just make use of the trim function. What the trim function will do is that it will come to this data set, okay? It knows that there's meant to be no space before the starting word. So it will remove it, okay? Now, after the starting word, just one space is needed before the next word. So if it sees two, it will remove one, okay? So that's why the name is trim, okay? So it will trim it down, leaving just one space between each word, okay? And to make use of that function, I'll type equal to trim, okay? Now, another thing to know is this, all right? Because of the cell I want to reference is here, does not mean that I must type my trim function here, okay? If I create a new column and it needs me to type it here, I would, okay? But if what I need is actually, let's say, all the way in this cell, even, okay? I can do it from this cell, I'll say equal to trim, okay, open bracket, and I will reference this cell, okay? So it's not compulsory, it's directly opposite it. But you know, when you create a new column, you want it to be opposite it, and then you will do that. But what I'm just saying is that if you want to work with a cell, you want to reference a cell, it's not compulsory that, yes, it has to be beside it, okay? So you can just reference this cell and close it, and then press enter. So you can see that now this is looking like this. Am I right? So are you fine on that, sir?
Fine on that, thanks. It's okay, it's
All right.
nice.
Okay. So I just joined. Please, how can I access the missed class videos? Okay, so if you're on our WhatsApp group chat, okay, you should be on our WhatsApp group chat. You'll see a Google link there where you can access all the videos from the onboarding class till date, okay? All right, so if you're writing on the screen, kindly please stop that, okay? I can see Mr. Bankole. I guess that's a mistake, so I'll clean it off, it's no problem. Mr. Martin.
Yeah, the one I didn't get, the salt and filter.
Sort and filter, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me delete this. All right. So maybe I should even make use of this for sort and filter. Okay. All right. So what did I say about sort and filter? I said sorting means arranging, not to arrange in a particular order. It could be ascending, it could be descending, dealing with numbers, or even with characters, with letters. Okay, so dealing with letters, you want to ascend or you want to descend, let's say from A to Z or from Z to A. Okay, now with numbers, you're looking at from largest to smallest or smallest to largest. Okay, so if I want to sort, okay, if I want to sort, all right, all I would do is highlight my entire data set, okay, Control A, all right, and then I will come to where I have sort and filter. Remember, I'm on the home tab, okay, I'll come to sort and filter, and I'll click on custom sorts, okay, I'll click on custom sorts. Now, which column do I want to sort? Is it the names column? I want to sort from A to Z or from Z to A. Is it the income column? I want to sort from largest to smallest or smallest to largest. Okay, so now let's say I'm sorting the names column. Now, what this means is that if Christopher Underwood works for this company and is earning this amount, it means if it gets sorted and Christopher Underwood should go to number 8, it means his company and his income should also go with him. Okay, so that is what custom sort will do for you. So it is sorting this column names actually, but the corresponding values we go with the name. Okay, So I'm sorting the names, order from A to Z, okay? And I'll click on OK. So you see that here I have Christopher Underwood now, and I have his company correct, and I have his income correct. Okay, so I can also sort income from largest to smallest. So for filter, now I said we make use of filter to return values that we need, okay? We use it to filter out data that we don't need in our data sets, okay? So it's not necessarily deleting, okay? It's just to visually represent data that you need, okay? While removing those that you don't need. All right, so from this data now, okay, I can filter, okay? I'll say Control Shift and then L, L key, okay, L for lamb, okay? So you can see I have this small box with arrows included in each cell, okay, each column header, rather. So if I click on this one, you'll see what I have here. So I have all the values, okay, every single value in that column, okay, every single name in that column, all right? Even if a name was repeated 5 times, it's only once is going to appear here. Okay, so it's just telling me what I have in this column, right? So for the income, same thing, right? So now I can make use of filter to select just one, okay? And I'll press OK. You can see. So it just returns this data, but it does not mean that the data has been deleted, the remaining have been deleted, no. Okay, if I come back here and I click on clear filter from income, you see that everything comes back. Okay, so I can use this to quickly see, okay, who are those that are earning larger than 100,000? I'll come to where I have number filters and I'll say greater than, okay, say it's greater than what? 100,000, okay? Now say, okay. So you can see the data that is returned. So these are the only people that are earning more than 100,000. All right, I guess that has answered your question.
Yes, thank you very much.
All right, so not to waste much of our time, I've explained the excess spaces 3 times already, okay? Removing excess spaces 3 times already. So you can just wait for a recorded version of this video and catch up on it, okay? I've explained it 3 times already.
Sorry, has the video for last lecture been uploaded?
Yes, it has.
I didn't see it.
So the video for the last class has been uploaded. Okay, so I can reshare the link on the WhatsApp group chat. Okay, I'll do that now.
Please do, that will be highly appreciated.
All right, so I've shared the link once again. All right, so over there you find the second video. So that's the recorded version, recorded video for our second class. All right, so let's move on. Now we're getting into some very interesting parts. Okay, so now you're working with date functions. You're working with date functions. Okay, so let's look at this date function. Okay, you'll notice that in my date column, I'm having just numbers. Okay, I'm having just numbers, and I already taught us how to correctly format this. Okay, so after highlighting the column, I'll come to where I have my format. Okay, and then I'll click on short date. Okay. So you can see now that it has been sorted properly. Okay. So if I want to get day, just the day, okay? I can do that. If I want to get the month, I can do that. If I want to get the year, I can do that. If I want to get the weekday, the week number, okay, I can do all that. All right, so just the day from this particular data. Okay, so I'll say equal to, and I'll say day, equal to day, okay? So I'll reference my data, cell, and then I'll close the brackets. So for this particular cell, what's my day? The day is 6, okay, 6th of November. So I'm expecting it to return 6. So if I press enter, I should see 6. Okay. So for this one, it means it should return 5, which is 5th of the month of March.
Okay.
Okay.
5th of March.
5th of March. Okay. So my format is month, date, year. Month, day, year. All right. So yeah, I have 5th of March. Yeah, I have 15th of this should be July. Okay, or August rather. All right, so once again, I'll come to where I have the small green box, okay? I'll double click so that it would copy the formula down across the cell. And once the formula is coming down across the cells, okay, this, my cell reference, would also be updating. Okay, so if my formula comes down one step, my cell reference will go from A2 to A3. Okay, if I move across the columns, okay, it will update from A2 to B2 to C2 to D2 to E2 and like that. But if I go down, the numbers is what is increasing because I have numbers here. If I go across, the letters is what will be changing. Okay, so you have to be very careful. All right, so we'll still look at absolute referencing when you don't want your reference to change at all. So I'll double click on this and you'd see. So you'd see that it has done all that for me. Okay, so I have the day. Yeah, so if I want to get the month also, so equal to month. Okay, so it says returns the month, a number from 1, which is January, to 12, which is December. Okay, and then I'll click on the date again. So I want to get the month from this date. I'll close the brackets, press enter. I'll come back here, I'll double click on this thing. So you can see that now. Okay, so the same thing for the year. I'll say equal to year. Okay, I'll click on the date and I'll close the brackets. Press enter and I'll do the same thing. So you can see how I'm removing data quite easily from these dates. Okay, so if I want to get the weekday, now what is weekday? Okay, now how many days do we have in a week? We have 7 days in a week. Okay, so the weekday is a number from 1 to 7 that will tell me, is this day Monday? Is this day Tuesday? Is it Wednesday? Is it Thursday? Is it Friday? Okay, so it's a number from 1 to 7. So if I want to do this, I'll just say equal to weekday. So you can see it says returns a number from 1 to 7, identifying the day of the week of a date. Okay, so if I select this, so it means if 6th of November is if 6th of November is say so if this 6th of November, it's say, let's say Monday, so that should return 2.
Yes.
Okay, if Sunday is 1, then Monday should return 2. Okay, so I'll just click on this, I'll press enter. Okay, so it's telling me 4. So it means that that's a Wednesday. Okay, so I can double click on this again. I need to do that all the way down. Okay, I'll be wondering, why do we need this? Okay, it comes into it shows its power when you're working, when you're dealing with your charts, especially in Power BI. Okay, when you want to sort your charts. All right, so For the week number, make is of equal to week number. Okay, week number, right? So it's return number from 1 to 52, I guess. Okay.
So we come
But you
again
have
with the
to-
weekday.
All right. So I said the weekday. Now, in a week, you have 7 days. Okay, Sunday to Saturday. Okay, so if Sunday is 1, Monday is 2, Tuesday is 3, Wednesday is 4, Thursday is 5, Friday is 6, Saturday is 7. Okay, so if I have a particular date, okay, and I want to know, okay, is this Monday, is this Tuesday, is this Wednesday, just the week number, the day number. Okay, I can make use of the weekday function. All right, if I want to get the day name in words, I can also do that, and we'll get to that. All right, so we've done for the weekday, we've done for the week number. Okay, now the day name in words, the day name in words. Now, to do this, I'm going to format, I'm going to be using the text function. Okay, I want to get it in words now. This is how it works, equal to text. Okay, so it says, I should have read that alt text. It says convert a value to text in a specific number format. Okay, so just forget that alt text for now. Now it says the value. I'll click on my date cell here, comma. Now, this is the important part. I want to get the day. Okay, you might want to write this down, or if you know that you will watch the video, no problem. Okay, so for day, my format, usually in double quotes, okay, the format is D, 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 okay? It can be double D, all right, triple D, or 4. Okay, so what do I mean by that? I mean this, the letter D. Okay, the letter D. All right, so I'm going to make it 3, and then I'll press enter. So can you see what it did there now? If I make use of 4 Ds, okay, I'll get the name full Wednesday. Okay, so I'll come again. You make use of the text function, okay, the value, which is the date, you reference it, okay, and the format. Now, for dates, we make use of D. D is for date, M is for month, Y is for year. Okay, H is for hour, S is for seconds. Okay, now if you make use of M immediately after H, then Excel will read it as minutes. But if you make use of M before H, Excel will read it as months. Okay, so you should be careful when working with that also. So D for day, M for months. So I want to get the day name. I would say equal to text. Okay, so I'm getting the text from this date. In what format? The day format. Okay, so always remember to include your double quotes in the beginning and in the end. So I can give it just 3 days or 4 days. If I want the name in full, 4 days. If I want just shortened, 3 days. Okay, and then I'll press enter. So once I double click this small green box again, to do that all the way down. So you see now that Wednesday, the weekday is 4. So it is the 4th day of the week. Tuesday is the 3rd day of the week, okay? Your day of the week is starting from Sunday. Okay? Thursday is the 5th day of the week. Okay? So I can do the same thing for months. All right, equal to text. The value is this date. You can see that we're just working with the same dates. You can see how many things we've brought out from just one particular date. Okay, so comma, then in what format? Now, my month format is MMM for short. Okay, then one more M to make it long. And then I'll press enter. November. Now I can double click this also, and it will replicate it across.
Hope is not MMM, the one we know.
No.
I just-
All right. So it's not MMM, the one we know. Okay. Please, can you repeat all topics we have treated from beginning to now? I'm very sorry, ma, we cannot. Okay. We are working with a time frame here. And if we do not cover up the program in the stipulated time, okay, then it means that you're not getting benefit for your money. Okay. So that's the reason why we have recorded versions. All right. So please send your phone number to my. All right. Mr. Shegun Fashino, you can see your hands raised. Yes, sir.
So please, I don't know if you can just repeat that week number again. I got the everything, but excluding that one, I don't know if you can assist. Please. Week number.
Okay, so for week number, I just said you have 52 weeks in a year, right? You have 52 weeks in a year. So you just want to know which week that falls in, okay? Is it the last week of the year? Is it the first week of the year, okay? So it returns a number telling you the week number. That's just it, okay? So you make use of week num. All right, you can see it in your formula bar. Equal to, then week num, and then you reference yourself. All right. All right, so someone said we were told we'll be given a video to watch before each class. I doubt Pastor Yomis said so. And if you can expatiate, what did they say the video would be about? Okay, so I doubt Pastor Yomis said so. Okay. The only thing they said about video is that each class will be recorded. Okay. And if you miss a class, you don't have to reach out to the instructor or even he himself. Okay. Just wait for 24 to 48 hours and you would receive the recorded version of that class. All right. So I hope all questions are answered now. Okay, so continuing. Now, I can get today's date, okay? Making use of the function equal to today, okay? So it returns the current date, So it means that, and it does not take any argument. Now, when I say argument, everything we've been typing inside our parentheses, when we open brackets, okay, we reference a particular cell. Okay, this is an argument because it's going inside the parentheses. Okay, so everything you type inside the parentheses of a function is called your argument. Okay, so this today function does not take any arguments. So I'll open the bracket and I'll close it and I'll press enter. So you can see that it returns today's date, 2nd of November, 2022. So what this function does is that every time Excel reloads, okay, this function, every function will reload. Okay, so if I close my Excel and I open it tomorrow, Excel will reload this function and it will present tomorrow's date. Okay, because obviously it would have been in tomorrow, which will now be today. Okay, so you can get today's date using that, all right, and then it will update automatically every time you open Excel on a different day. All right, so dated if. Now, what does dated if do? Dated if tells you the number of days or the number of months or the number of years that have gone past from one date to another date. The number of days, you can get the number of days, or you can get the number of months, or you can get the number of years between two dates. You can get the number of days, if it's the number of days you want between two dates. You can get the number of months. You can get the number of years between two dates. Okay, now permit me to create a new column here. Okay, I'd say this would be dates of birth. Okay, and I'd say this should be age. All right. So let me just populate this, okay? So what I did now, I just populated this, okay? I'll change the format now, the date formats. So let's say short dates. Okay, good, lovely. Now, quickly, I just created a random data, okay? So let's say I have a data set with just dates of birth of some particular set of people, okay? And I need their age. All right. Permit me to create another column here. Insert. Okay. Let me call this. Okay. Let me leave this out for. Let me leave this out for now. Okay. So I want to get the age. I want to get the age from each of these data. All right. So now how can I do that? Now, if I create a new column here, okay, insert, let me call this current date. Okay. Now to get the current date, what's the function I'm going to use?
As today.
Today.
Today. Okay. So thank you very much. So I'll make use of today. Yes. I can know that we are following. Okay. So equal to today, open and close bracket, I'll press enter. Okay. If I can do it across, I can just even leave that, only that particular date. Okay. So now I want to get the age, and the age is the current date minus the date of birth. Okay. Permit me to copy and paste only the values. Okay. So I'll click on copy and I'll paste only the values there. Good. Now, the age is equal to, I can say this cell first, then the minus sign, this cell, and I'll press enter. Okay, so we can see here how many days have gone past. So from this day, okay, to this day, 7,846 days have gone past. Okay, but if I want to get the age, meaning the count of years, okay, how can I do that? Now, that is where the dated if function comes in. I can get the count of months also. So to do this, I would say equal to dated if. Now you would notice that Excel does not provide any details on it. Okay. So dated if. Now I'll put the start date first. I reference the start date, comma, and I'll reference the end date. Okay, the start date first, comma, or the earlier date, comma, then the current date. Okay, it's not compulsory, it's current date. You might just decide to find the number of months or years between two particular dates. It does not matter, it does not really matter that it must be the current date. Okay, you might be looking for a specific information. All right. So I'm just making use of this to show that, okay, to get the number of years between these two dates. All right. So I'll reference the first date, comma, then the second date, comma, then the format. Okay, the format. Now, I want it to be, just give me the year. So just one Y is all I need. Okay, Y meaning number of years. Remember when we were formatting to get the name, okay, the full name of the month or of the day, we had to make use of DDDD or MMMM. Okay, but yeah, I just need one single number for year. Okay, so I'll close my brackets and I'll press enter. So you have to know the syntax because Excel will not give you any help. You can, if you notice when I typed in dated if, Excel did not give me any help. So you have to know the syntax of heart, okay? So I press enter, you see 21 years. All right, so once I double click this, so we can see from the date of birth, and we've gotten the age. All right. So if you have a data set, I give you a data set to work on as a project. Okay, where you have to show probably the age of the employees and how much they are earning, the average salary per age. If you are given only date of birth, you can see how to calculate the age from it. Okay, you can also look at probably how many years a person worked for a particular company. Okay, you might have one column telling you, giving you the employment date, okay, and the dates that they left the company, and another column giving you the dates that they left the company. So you want to calculate the number of days the person worked for or the number of months. So if it's the number of months, okay, the same way I made use of dated if, let me copy the formula from here. There's the formula here. Okay, so now I made use of dated if, okay. The first cell I'll reference again is this, then comma, the second cell is this, then comma, okay, and I have my format. But now I don't need the year. What I need now is the month. So I'll just make use of M. If it is the day, I'll make use of D. Okay, so I need just the month. I'll make use of M and I'll press enter. So I can see how many months gone past, okay? So I can know how many months a particular person worked for. Okay, so if I'm making use of current dates, it means that anytime I open this Excel sheet, if I open this Excel sheet 1 year from now, the current date will change. And then it means that automatically, since I still have my formula in this cell, this formula will also update. Okay, so I guess, do we have any questions on that? Okay, how did you populate the date of birth? All right. Okay, aside that, do we have any question?
Sorry, is there any other function aside the dated if? Because my Excel, I can't see dated if.
So you might not, as I said again, okay. Okay, if I type equal to dated, you can see that I don't have dated if there.
Okay.
Okay, so you have to type it out fully, then open your brackets.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, and do what you want to do. All right. So aside that, is there any other question?
Date of birth, sir.
How I populated the date of birth. That the question, how I populated the date of birth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's just a randomly generated data. Okay, we make use of it a lot to get dummy data. All right, so that reminds me, I said I'll show us how to get dummy data for our data sets. Okay, so let me just please show you how I populated the data sets. Okay, so dates of birth. Okay, so I know that Excel counts dates, like it counts numbers. Okay, wherever it sees a number and I want to format it as day, it will just look at that number. Okay, how many days have gone past 1st of January 1900? Okay, so all I need to do is just input numbers, all right, and then change the format to a date format. So to input numbers, I don't have to start inputting number myself. Okay, I can just make use of the rand function, okay, or rand between. So it says return a random number between the numbers you specify. Okay, so the bottom, I'll say 20,000, comma, the top, I'll say 40,000. Okay, so it will generate a random number between 20,000 and 40,000. Okay, so if I click and drag, that formula will update, and you will notice that, let me go back. If I click and drag, this formula in the first cell will update, and you will see that the numbers will change. Okay, so every time I perform an operation, the formula will update. So to get that number so that it won't change, I will now copy it and then paste. Okay, so now whatever I have there will not change. Okay, no matter the function I perform. All right, so now that I have numbers there, I will now highlight and change the format to date format, long date, short date, anyone I wish to use. All right, so are we fine with that?
Yeah, please, can you take the dated if again?
Okay, so someone also asked how to get the age using dated if. Okay, so I said the formula is what? Now let's make use of this new date of birth now. I would insert a new column here. So what did I say the formula is? Equal to dated if. I told you Excel will not present it to you, okay? So you have to use the knowledge that you have on it. All right, so dated if. Now it collects 3 arguments: the starting date, the ending date, and then the format. Is it month you want to return? That means you just give M. Is it year you want to return? You just give Y. Is it days you want to return? You just give D. Okay, so the first date is date of birth, comma. The last date is current date. Okay, I can click on this one, or I can even type in the function, which is today. Okay, what this function will do here is that when this function loads, it will first load in this one, today. When it returns the current date here, then Excel will now look, okay, start date is this, end date is the current date, then which format? Okay, so I'll put comma. So you can see I can either reference the current date, I can just make use of this formula here. So what is the format? I just need the number of years. Okay, so in double quotes, I'll just put Y, and then I'll close my brackets and press enter. Pardon me. Okay, so I'll press enter. Now, the reason why it's shown as a day, okay, is that you will notice up here that your dates, your format is saying dates, okay? So there's a number here, and Excel is reading it as dates. So if I change it back to number, you can see that it's saying 20. So this person is 20 years old. Okay, if you come to my age that we did earlier here, you see that it's saying general format, okay? And general format is just the normal format. So if it says number there, you just read it as number. If it says letter there, you just read it as letter. Okay. So, but if I change this to date format, Excel will read this thing as numbers, and it will count how many days past 1st January 1900. All right. So if I double click here to do the same thing across, okay. Or I can click and drag and stop where I want to stop, okay? And we're fine with that. So are we good to go? So I've taken the dated if again. Any question?
No, but again, my question would be the syntax. Is it compulsory to be in capital, white typing? Because I noticed your dated if was in capital letter. Is it case sensitive?
So it's not compulsory to be in capital, okay? I'll do for small letters now. The reason why I'm making use of capital is that it's kind of like a good practice, okay, to make use of capital letter when you are dealing with keywords, okay? Keywords are words that Excel or the application you're working with recognizes that performs a particular function, okay? So if I'm making use of small letter equal to dated, if I open the brackets, okay, the first date, comma, the last date, comma, and then in double quotes, Y, and I close the brackets, okay? See that I still have the same thing. All right, so it's not case sensitive in Excel, okay? So, is everyone fine? Can we proceed?
Yes.
All right, so hello.
Hi.
Okay, so can we hear me now? Can you see my screen?
Yes, we
We can
can.
see your screen. We can hear you. I can hear you. I can see your screen.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes.
So I guess my network is fluctuating. All right, so now I said for your logical functions, you have the if, okay, you have the and, you have the or, and you have the not, okay? You have the if function, you have the and, you have the or, you have the not, okay? So permit me quickly to open our slides, okay? Before we go that, okay, I'll show this after the class, okay? So once we're done with the class, please remind me to show us on how to get the dummy data to work with, okay?
So we should remind you about what?
I'm out to get the dummy data, okay? The data set that you can work with.
Okay, dummy data. Okay.
Okay, so how many of us have looked through these slides? How many of us have gotten here? No one? Wow. All right, so how many of us have come across logical functions before?
I've used the if function before. That's the only logical function I've used before.
Okay. Okay, so it's not compulsory, it has to be in Excel. Okay, you might have used it probably in other applications or even in mathematics and statistics. Okay, so for that math, all right.
I have used it in another data tool, different from Excel.
Okay. All right, so very easy. Okay, if you understand the concept, it is very, very easy. All right, so now, okay, let's do some charts. All right, so I have the if function first. Okay, someone said my background is noisy. Is it still noisy?
No.
I cannot hear any noise from
right.
your background, or maybe the person's background is noisy.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, so now the if function, what does it say? It says this function tests a given condition and returns a certain value if the test result is true, and another value if it is false. We have the syntax, okay? We'll show all the syntax in Excel, but I want us to understand this. So we give it a condition. It tests a given condition, okay? We give it the condition, also called the logical test. So when we give it the condition, if this logical test, okay, now Excel will test this condition. If it is true, it will return true into this function, okay? Now, if it is true, then Excel will now return this value. But if this value, this logical test, this condition is false, Excel will return this value. Okay. Now, for the AND function, what the AND function does is that we can test two or more conditions. For the if function, okay, we just give a logical test. The logical test can be the AND test. This entire AND function, we can input it into this place. This entire OR function, we can input it into this place. They are logical tests. Okay, so the AND the OR, they return either true or false. Okay, AND return either true or false, or returns either true or false for some certain conditions. Okay, now if AND returns true into this condition, into this this syntax here. Okay, so if it is true, then Excel will now return this value. Okay, so what does the AND do? For the AND, we'll give it two or more conditions. Now, when Excel tests all these conditions, it will only return false if one of the tests or one of the condition is false. If at least, okay, it would return false if at least one of the tests is false. Meaning, if I give AND two tests, if one of them is false, AND will return false. Okay? If I make use of AND in my if function, AND will return false to this place, and Excel will now return this value. If I make use of just the AND function, AND will just return false for me. But if the two tests are true, then AND will return true. So if I give the AND function 10 tests, 10, if one of those tests is false, this AND function will return false. So if at least one value is false, the AND function will return false. But if everything is true, the AND function will return true. Now for the OR function, OR, what does it do? You also give it multiple logical tests, 2 and above. Now, it returns true if at least one of the tests is true. Meaning, if I give it 2 tests, if one is true and the other one is false, it will still return true because one of them is true. So if I give it 100 tests, 99 is false, but 1 is true. The OR function will return true. So you should know when to use AND, you should know when to use OR. Now for the NOT, very easy. All it just does is that it negates a truth value. When I say a truth value is either true or false. Either this true or this false. So if I say not, and then the truth value I put here is false, then not false will return true. But if I say equal to not, and then I put true, not true will return false. So let's look at examples in our Excel workbook. Okay. So true or false. Let's first look at true or false. Okay, we'll build it small. All right, so equal to true. Okay, all this does is just to return the logical function true. Okay, equal to false. All this does is just to return the logical function false. Okay, so now for not, if I say equal to not, so you can see what it said, what changes false to true, or it changes true to false. So not what, if I now click on true, I close my bracket and I press enter, you can see that now it is false. So not true give you false. What of not false? Equal to not. Logical function is false. I close the bracket and I press enter. It returns true. Very easy. But when you're not making use of your if, your and, this is where it gets complicated. If you follow diligently, okay, you'll find it very easy. All right. For the if function now, let's say we want to create a condition, okay, to check our high spenders and our low spenders, okay, or our high earners and our low earners, okay, and we want to group them into two categories. We have the income here, okay, what they're getting from, let's say, wages, okay, if they're working 24/7, let me change this to, okay, they have this, and then they have their side hustle. All right, so if I have, for instance, I want to group them into just two distinct categories. Okay, so if you're earning 100,000 and above, we'll call you a big earner. If you're earning below 100,000, we'll call you a small earner. Notice what I said, 100,000 and above. So meaning 100,000 is included there. But if I'm making use of my function, if I just say below 100,000 and above 100,000, it means if I have a data for someone that is earning exactly 100,000, I've not account for that data. So I have to account for it. Is it either going to go with the above or going to go with the below? Okay, so I'm saying 100,000 and above for big earners. Anything less than 100,000, small earners. So how will I perform that? Okay, so I'll say equal to if. Okay, now what I just said now is best done using and. Okay, and I don't want to combine it yet. Okay, so let me just make use of one particular logical test. Let me make use of one particular logical test. Okay, let me make use of just one particular logical test for this if. Okay. Okay, so I'll say equal to if. Okay, the same test I just gave now. Now, if what? If what? If my wages is bigger than 100,000, 100,000 or above. Now click on wages, which is J7. Yeah. Then greater than or equal to. You can see the sign I'm using there, the greater than sign and the equal to sign. So meaning if the value in this cell is greater than or equal to 100,000, that is my logical test. If this is true, meaning the value in this cell is greater than 100,000, is 100,000 and above, what should I do? So I'll press comma. So the value if true, meaning what should I return if this logical test or this condition is true? Now I'll tell it to return. Remember, it's going to return a text, and to signify text or strings, we say what? We put it in double quotes. Okay, so I'll tell it to return big earner. Then comma for my next argument. So what should I return if this logical test is not true? I'll tell it to return low earner. I will close my brackets. Very easy. So once again, equal to always stands in every function or formula. If this is the logical test, whatever you find in this cell, first, if it is greater than or equal to 100,000, then return big earner. If not, return this. Press enter. So you can see that because it is greater than 100,000, I have big earner. Okay, so if I double click this cell, this small green box here, if I double click on it, it will repeat the formula down. So in this cell, you can see that now in my formula bar, I have J8, and this is J8 here. So when it comes down, your cell reference will also come down. So even if I have 4 cell references there, the references will increase by 1, okay, or decrease by 1, depending on the direction you are going, if it's up or if it's down. All right. So you can see that this person that is earning below 100,000 is a low earner. This person that is earning below 100,000 is a low earner. If I have a chart that I want to create, let's say pivot chart, I can now see how many people are big earners, how many people are small earners. Okay. Using bar charts, column charts. All right. I'll just see the count. Big earners, I'll see how many. Low earners, I'll see how many. Okay. So once again, the syntax, if you give a logical test, all right, big earner, low earner. So now for and, let me create a new column here. Let me call this and. So we'll see what and does. So equal to and. So it says first logical test and second logical test. So what is our first logical test? The first logical test is, let's say we want to see people that are earning above 70,000 in wages and also earning above 15,000 or earning above 50,000 rather inside hustle. Okay, so I would say my first logical test is this must be greater than or equal to 100,000, comma, second logical test. Okay, now when you see something in square brackets like this, it means it is optional. If you don't want to put it there, fine. Okay, so you can say I have logical 3. I can put another logical test. I can put as many as possible. Okay, so if this, and now I'll click on this one. If this is also greater than or equal to 50,000, I'll close it. Now I'm giving 2 conditions. So if this is true, it will return true in this function. And if this one too is true, it will return true. So true and true will return true in this cell. But if one of them is false, meaning if I check here, okay, this one is on more than 100,000, good. If I check here, this one is not up to 100,000, meaning this one is false. If one of them is false, meaning in this cell, we have false. So let's look at it. I'll press enter. So you can see. So if I double click this and it goes down, I click and drag, all the way down, you can see I have true, I have false. So what AND function does is that it will just return either true or false. The same thing for OR, okay? Now I've given the conditions that must be met for it to return either true or false. So you can check this up, look at it, and you can also check Google for more explanations on logical functions, okay? So if plus AND. Now, why did I first show us this? So that we will not get confused when we come here. So now I can make use of my if function equal to, permit me again to insert a new column here. Okay. Now, I can say equal to if. Okay, now my logical test, I can click on this one. Okay, that is my logical test, meaning, so value if it is true. So meaning if this thing is true, what I can see here is false. So Excel will give me the value if it is false. But if whenever it is true, Excel will give me this value. Okay. So if this is true, say big earner, comma, if it is false, say small or low earner. Now close my bracket. Okay, I'll press enter. On the type, would you want to accept this correction? Okay, so there's a typographical error. And if you look at this, you notice I did not open a double quote before this low earner. Okay, yeah. So I'll accept this correction. Okay, so you can say I have low earner. There's even meant to be space here. Okay, let me include a space. Enter. Okay, now this is returning low earner. This is returning big earner. Some might be wondering why. Now remember, this is saying false. I am now having two logical functions. In my AND here, you can see that it is two logical functions. So if one of them is false, it will return false. But for my if here, I had just one logical function. Okay, so once this is true, which it is true for this, it returned big earner. But here, this first one is true, J7 is true, right? It is more than 100,000, okay? But I7, which is my side also, is it more than 50,000? No, so it will return false. That's the reason why I have low earner. Okay, so I'll double click here again to do the same thing down. Now, the reason why I have if and here, if plus and, what will this give me? Equal to if. Now, I already did my AND function separate here. What I want to show us is that I can include my AND function inside the if function. Now, my logical test will be what I have here, the formula I have here. Okay, so I'll just type it out and I'll open brackets. My first logical test is that this cell must be greater than or equal to 100,000, comma. Okay, and this cell must be greater than or equal to 50,000. And I will close my bracket. That is the first bracket. Now I am done with my logical test. The AND is what is taking these two logical tests. So I am done with my logical test for the if function. I will now press comma. So the value, if it is true, is what? Big earner. Comma. And the value, if it is false, is what? Low earner. And I'll close the bracket. Okay, so you can see how you can nest function inside each other. Okay, so this is called a nested function. You have one function inside another. I can have up to 4 functions inside each other. Okay, or even more. So if you can make use of it properly, you can do it. All right. If you can't, you can decide to separate it the way I did it. I first did the AND function and then I referenced it. So if I press enter, it should give me the same thing. Okay, so you can see. All right. So this if plus or will be our assignment. Okay, so instead of making use of and, now we'll be making use of or. Okay, so that is quite easy. We might just want to copy and then change the or, okay? But we should also expect another assignment on this area. All right, so that is if and. All right, so another thing you might want to do, let me insert a new column here, is that you want to check if this is equal to this. Okay, so I can just say equal to. Remember, every formula or function must start with equal to. So equal to what? So I can open brackets and say this equal to this. So what Excel will do, and I will close my brackets. What Excel will do now is to compare these two. The value here, is it the same thing with the value here? If it's the same thing, Excel will return true. So I can quickly use this to know if my values are the same across these two columns. So everything must be true to tell me that yes, I actually made use of the same formula. So you can see everything is saying true, 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 true. All right. So it's 9 p.m. Do we have any questions? Do we have any questions? Okay, so Mr. Godwin, your question, sir. Your question is the Zoom meeting of yesterday. I did not organize any Zoom meeting yesterday, Mr. Godwin. Can we still submit previous assignments? Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Yes.
Please
Hello?
don't forget the dummy data. You said, okay,
Yes,
so the dummy
yes,
data, all right.
Daramola, thank you. You said we should remind you about how to get dummy data.
Okay, all right.
So are we doing it now or you move it to next lecture?
I think we should move it to next lecture.
Hello? 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 Hello?
It's like the lecturer has logged out. I think the lecture has ended. It's usually 7 to 9. It's already after 9.
But you can't head like this now.
The man is no longer on the call now.
On the platform. Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh,
You
good
check
night-
the
good night then.
participants. They are logged off. That's why
Has
I
he
just-
gone?
He has
Then
gone.
let's leave now.
Hello, why not wait for him? It's like he's having network issue. Let's just wait a bit so that he can round it up.
Because this dummy data we mentioned, he have mentioned that we will do it by next lecture, that not today. So if he has anything to answer, I should have said something. The person that is talking about how to save assignment on the Google Drive, the man demonstrated it while we're about to start.
Oh God. I'm lost somewhere, and I needed to ask a question before he left. Yeah. Maybe I'll wait for the video.
So another approach is all of us will work as a team. If you put the question on the platform, any person that understands it can give you a clue. You don't need to default to the lecturer all the time. That's my humble opinion. I'm not speaking for anybody.
All right. Hello, everyone.
Okay, he's back.
Hello.
Hello, we're with you.
Yeah, I'm very sorry for the disconnection.
Okay.
Okay, so who is the admin now?
Well, maybe somebody using pastor's phone because I can still see her guitar as the host.
Okay, okay, no problem. Okay, so let me. I guess I would have to reach out to Pastor so I can share my screen again. Just kindly give me a minute. So just give me a minute. I just reached out to him. All right, so we'll do that now. Okay, so let me share my screen back. So if you can see my screen, just let me know. So can you see my screen?
Yes. Yes.
All right. So I said, so to get data that you can practice with, okay, one of the popular ones is Kaggle. Okay, immediately I type in Kaggle so you can see. I've worked with multiple data sets from this website. Okay, so kaggle.com. Okay. Okay, so they host competitions data science, machine learning competitions, okay? And I have data sets up here, okay? So I'll click on data sets, okay? And I have so many data sets I can choose from. Okay, so depending on what you want to work with, okay, you select the data sets you want to download and analyze. Okay, so let's say I want to make use of this one. Okay, so I'll click on it. Now you would see this download icon here. Don't click on this. This refers to a notebook. Okay, notebook I used to store codes, store and run codes. Okay, especially when you're working with Python, data science, machine learning. All right, so you don't have to bother about that. If you want to download the data set itself, you come down here where you have details on the data sets. Okay, so you see this download icon over here. All right, and then you click on download. But one thing you should note is this error message unauthenticated. Okay, so it won't do like this for everything. I'm guessing it's because of the Wi-Fi I'm connected to right now. Okay, once you click on download, it will download. Okay, once it downloads, now what you should note is this. Once it downloads, now let me see if I have a sample data set I can work with here. Okay, so I have this one over here. Okay, now if you look at the format of this data set, it says Microsoft Excel, separated values. Okay, Microsoft Excel, separated values. Now, let's go back to Excel. So I explained comma separated values as data, okay, in which each value is separated by a comma. Yeah. All right. So it means that if you want to open it, once you have your Excel sheets open, all right, you'll notice that that file was actually showing Excel sign or the Excel icon. Okay. So you can either open it from there. If you open it from there, you have to resave as Excel, or once you download, come to your Excel sheet itself, okay, and then you come and click on open. Okay, once I click on open, then you locate where you saved that file. Okay, so I'll click on browse. So I'll go to where I saved the file. Okay, so over here, I can see down here it's saying all Excel files. Okay, I'll click on all files. It will bring out the files there, and then I'll click on the one I want to insert. Okay, I'll click open. Okay, and then it opens. So it says possible data loss. Some features might be lost if you save this workbook in the blah, 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 okay? So you have to click on save as. If yours does not give you this, okay, you have to go back to where you have save, and you come to save as type, you change it to Excel workbook, okay? And then you save. So if you do not follow along, you can just wait for the recorded version, all right, so that you would watch it. So once you change the save type to Excel workbook, then you save, okay? So it's fine now and you can work with it. All right. So you can get lots of data from there. You can also get data from, there's so many websites. There's data.gov, okay? I think this will give you US data also. Let me see. Okay, yes, so for the US government, okay, there's so many open data sets that you can work with here. All right, but you would most likely not even be going into all that in this level, okay? There's also, if you go to Tableau, okay, Tableau official website. Let me see. Okay, Tableau data sets. Okay, so there are free public data sets for analysis on Tableau also that you can download and just make use of in practice. Okay, so that'll be all for the class. We'll meet on Saturday by 7, by God's grace. All right, so thank you very much, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed the class.
Yeah, we did. Thank you, Mr. Malik.
Yeah, we did. Thanks. Yeah.
All right.
I just need to put this motion.
Sorry, what did you say?
I said we just need to practice more.
Yes.
To practice
Yes.
more and more and more so that we can master it well.
Yes.
Please,
Thank you
please,
very
how
much.
soon will the video come up? This because I missed out something and I don't want to drag everyone back on the plate.
Okay, so by tomorrow or next tomorrow, you should get a video.
God bless you.
Okay, thank
God
you.
bless you, sir. That will be fine.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so thank you very much, everyone. You have a wonderful night.
Hello, Malik. I don't know if you can be of assistant. We're trying saving on the Google Drive, but it's not saving.
Okay, so I already showed how to do that earlier. Okay. So
Okay.
once you get the video, you can just once you get the recorded version, you can just watch it. You see how you uploaded the data to Google Drive.
Because it's trying to say somebody will need to get access, request for access from maybe one of the students before one can actually log in or save on it.
It's telling you to request access from who?
Yeah, I see there. Can I just read it? I see there access requested access for one of the students. I don't know, is it network or what is actually happening? Although no problem, I'll continue to try.
Have you submitted, sir?
That's what I'm saying about submitting, but it's not accepting. I've done it severally, like 10 times, but I can't see it uploaded on the Google Drive. So it's saying that I need access request from one of the students. I don't know why it's displaying that. Maybe it's network.
If it's asking for access request, it can be network. Okay, I will look into that and get back to you.
All right. Thank you so much for the class.
All right.
And have a good night.
Have a good night, everyone.
Yeah, Mr. Malik, I sent you a private chat. Don't forget it. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, your name, sir?
Martin. Martin,
Okay.
yeah, you see it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You can
please don't
just check.
forget.
Oh, all right.
We can't send message on the WhatsApp group.
Yeah, but I can, and I'm on the WhatsApp group.
What I mean, send to me.
All right, thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks a million. Thanks a million. Wonderful class. Thanks a million.